Well, hello there and welcome back. We're going to do another short video on the hardware section of the defaults of the business partner estimating software. We've already done terms and conditions, markups, materials, and now we're going to do hardware, and then after that we'll do letters and then the cabinet specification. So let's get right to it. We're going to go to the defaults and then the default hardware. And this one is much like the materials, and that you have the list of the different ones and you have to name them what's appropriate to you. And anything will work, just whatever makes sense to you. In this case, I've separated out my Nova Pro drawers. Here you see an N behind the word hardware and a Z. So all the ones with an N have Nova Pro drawers selected, and all the ones with the Z have the Zargan drawers selected. And I have some here that are builder specific based on a package that they do and the rooms. And so what that means is when I choose this first item, hardware in, radius, baths, lone oak, that means I'm going to be choosing a Nova Pro drawer for what they call their lone oak package, which will also choose their surface hardware selections as well. And you could also have these, you see down here that we have some generic surface hardware selections, hardware, Zargan. This would have a pull, so it would charge $2 per pull for the labor as opposed to $1 for a knob. And that the hardware itself, the surface hardware itself, is going to be supplied by the builder or owner. So you can have all different types of these default material selections, but we're going to choose this one right here, hardware in, radius, for kitchen lone oak, just to see what that is. And give it a name that makes sense to you. And again, this name has to be somewhat short and that it fits in the field and you can still tell what it is. And then down here you can describe for yourself in a little more detail a description of the default hardware setup that you're doing. And here we've chosen a knob from Atlas that's a 38mm by 19mm knob in pewter, and a pull for the drawers. So for the doors we have a knob, and for the drawers we have a pull. We've chosen the Nova Pro drawer guides for the drawers and for the rollout trays, and the door hinges are our standard Grass 4703 twist lock hinge, and then our legs, leg levelers and skid and clip, and then our suspension blocks. And if you don't use any of these products, you just leave those fields blank. But these default sets would have it automatically add these when you do the auto add hardware. So let's go do that, or look at the results of this anyway. Let's go to our sample job, Chapman 114, rooms. I'm going to go into that laundry room that we added and go to the hardware. And if we chose for this particular one that same setting, the hardware, Nova Pro, radius, kitchen lone oak, it would fill all these in with those appropriate selections. If we decided to choose, say, the Zargan with a $5 budget per door, then it's going to put in a knob with a $5 budget per door item. So when we come down here to these are the defaults, but nothing's actually been added to the job yet. You're making your hardware entry just as you are up here on the material entry. You're making your selections, but nothing's actually been added to the job yet. Here you're making your selections for the hardware, but again, nothing's been added to the job until we come down to the hardware button and actually choose the add button to actually add them. Since we haven't added any cabinets, then you see here we have all zeros and all of the estimated quantities, so obviously nothing would be added. But if we came in here and we added a 3 linear foot for base cabinets, and then we came in and added a 3 drawer stack, now we've got that, and we go to uppers, and let's go ahead and add 3 feet of upper, and we'll just get an upper pair of doors, add that. So now we've got a couple cabinets that would require some surface hardware and functional hardware. So we can go down to our hardware tab, and we see here now we have some estimated quantities. We have drawer fronts 3, drawer boxes 3 because of the 3 drawer stack. We've got a couple upper doors, no base doors because that was a 3 drawer stack. But you see all the estimated quantities here. And if we say add hardware, then it's going to automatically add the hardware based on the items we've selected up to that point. So you always want to do these entries through here in this order, starting at materials and working your way down, because when you get to these, the hardware and the accessories and the trim items, where there's actually some auto add features, those are based off of quantities of things you've added already. So because we had two upper doors, we've got two knobs at $5 per door budget. And we're basically saying here in the description that we still need the client to make the selection, so this might be done at an estimate level. And then down here we've got three knobs for the drawers. And again, no selection's been made, and that would actually appear on the estimates and proposals, reminding the client that they still hadn't made a selection of that. But because they're knobs, we've included our dollar per door or drawer for labor to drill the hole and install the knob, and then we've included a $5 budget per door and drawer for the hardware itself. And then down here we see that we've added the drawer guides. There's 3 drawers, so we've got 3 drawer guides, and here we've just added a generic Zargan drawer, not a specific Zargan drawer. If I look at the actual list of the functional hardware, then I see that I actually have in here some actual sizes of the Zargan drawers. Typically don't use that. This average number of $12 per drawer is quite a bit higher than the smallest drawer and just a little bit lower than the most expensive drawer, so it's a good average number. Then here we've got our hinges. Because we have 2 doors, there's 4 hinges, and this is actually the hinge end plate. And then our Kmart leg levelers. We've got a cabinet that is 3 foot wide, so in this case we would actually go in there and change that to 6 maybe, but on average that's close enough. It's up to you if you want to get that close. And then our Kmart suspension blocks, we've got 2 suspension blocks, since we have 1 upper cabinet and then 1 length of the suspension rail to hang the cabinets on. Again, if we had not chosen suspension blocks and suspension rail up here on the hardware entry, then nothing would have been added here. So back to our defaults and our default hardware. Again, you can name these anything you want. You can add as many as you want, and you can be, your descriptions can be however you need them to be. And then you just enter these items here, and they'll enter automatically when you go into the material entry page, and on the hardware area, add these one of these defaults, and it'll fill in everything for you and save you some time. So I hope that's helpful. And we've finished this section. Now we'll move on to the letters. That'll be the next one. And then after that, cabinet specs. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the next one.